Yep, so for this problem, if we want to find the sum of these m positive odd integers, so when you think of the pattern, the uh, 1 plus 3 is 4, and if we keep adding these odd numbers, they become the squared. So that means m positive odd integer sum is m squared. And then sum of the even integer, if we want to find the sum of n even integer, because they are even, after adding 1 through n, we are going to multiply 2. That makes n times n plus 1. And then the sum of odd integer is 212 greater than the sum of even integer, so we can make this equation. And to solve this equation, we can multiply 4 to both sides. The reason why we are multiplying 4 is that we want to make perfect square. And then if we make the perfect square, we can use the sum and difference formula. And if we make the prime factorization of 847, that's a multiple of 7 and 11 squared. So uh, we can think of two numbers, two factors, making this 847. That means like this. Yep, so these are three possibilities. So for the first case, the sum is 846 and the difference is 2. So when you subtract these two, the value of n is 211. And for the second case, the sum is 120 and difference is 8. So the value of n is 28. And for third case, the sum is 76. Difference is 12. Yep, so these are three values of n. These three. So when you add these three numbers, what is the sum of these values of n? Yep, can you find the sum of these three numbers?
Hmm?
Yep.
Oh, um, 255?
Yeah, 255. Yep, so the answer is A. And in number 23, there are six people, and some of them are internet friends. And each of them has the same number of friends. So the first case is when they have the one friend each. That means we can make these three groups for the uh, for pair of friends. So when we connect these six people this way, the connected people are friends to each other. So for the number of case, we are choosing two people out of six, like this. And then because the each group has the same number of people, in this case we need to divide this by the number of groups, the 3 factorial, because the 3 groups have the same number of people. So that means this 62 is 15, and 6. And because 3 factorial is 6, the number of cases is 15. And to have two friends for each person, we can make these two triangles using 6 people. So the number of cases is we are choosing these 3 people out of 6. And once again, because each group contains the same number of people, we need to divide this by the number of groups factorial. So that means we need to divide this by 2 factorial. And 63 is 20, and divided by 2 is 10. And there is another case to have the two friends. The case is we can make the hexagon using 6 people, and connect because connected people are friends. In this case, each person can have 2 friends, and to make this hexagon, uh, one person should be set for the standard. So that means instead of 6 factorial, we are using 5 factorial. And then we can flip. We can flip this hexagon to the right or to the left. It's like necklace. The necklace will be the same, although it's flipped. So that means we can divide this by 2. So the number of cases is 60. So to have 2 friends each, the total number of cases is 75. And to have 3 number of friends, actually having 3 number of friends is the same as having 2 number of friends in this case. So uh, instead of making friends with connected people, uh, we can make friends with unconnected people, because in this case 2 peoples are connected. The unconnected 3 peoples can be friends. So the number of case for having 3 friends is the same as the number of case for having 2 friends. So that means if the number of case for having 2 friends is 75, the number of case for having 3 friends is also 75. And uh, with the same token, uh, having four number of friends is the same as having one number of friend in this case. So uh, in this case too, instead of making friends with the connected people, we can make friends with the unconnected people. So the number of cases are the same. And then because not all of them are internet friends, we don't have to make the case when five number of people are friends, when the total is six. So that means you can add these four numbers. So what's the sum of these four numbers?
Hmm?
Yep, add these four.
190.
Yeah, 100. So 85 and 85. So yep, 170 is the answer. And in number 24, so this is kind of purely the calculation problem. And this problem is asked frequently in Korean math, but it's interesting. AMC have this type of problem. So when we add these two equations, we can make we can make this equation. So that means I mean 2b14. It's like 2 squared, 1 squared, and 3 squared make 14. So that means because A is the greatest, B is A minus 2, and C is A minus 3. So if we change B and C with this expression in the first equation, so if we open this parenthesis, hmm, yep. So when you divide both the sides by 8, what's the value of A? What's the quotient when 2024 is divided by 8?
음, um,
Okay.
228.
You can choose one of these from the choices. So multiply 8 to each, and one of them will be 2024.
2.
Yep. Okay, so this problem, we wanna find the probability. Yeah.
요즘에 막
So
인기 있다고 그런 거는 인기 있는 막 SNS 플랫폼 같은 게 새로 만들어지고 있다는 소리라고.
so if we make this three-dimensional coordinate,
네. 네.
let's assume that
막 1억 명이 1억 명
uh, the x is greatest and z is smallest. And let's first think of the base. Base means when z is zero. When z is zero, this no two of x or y and z are within 1 unit of each other because it no. I mean that means x minus y should be greater than or equal to 1, or the y minus z should be greater than or equal to 1. And and because x is greater than y here, that means the base looks like this. This blue triangle shows the x is greater than y, and uh, the interval is from 0 to n.
막 잘했다고 잡았는데 왜 그런지 모르겠어요.
So like this.
5학년 때, 제가 4학년
And
때
then for this inequality,
중간에 뭔가 항상
uh,
맞추기도 했는데 40점.
y is less than or equal to x minus 1. So if we make the inequality here, uh, this line is for
깜짝 놀랐어요.
y is equal to x minus 1.
2학년 블랙 레벨
And
어렵죠.
because z is 0, the y should be greater than or equal to 1. So y is greater than or equal to 1 means this one. So that means the region we want is this red triangle. So if we compare these two areas, they are both the right triangle. So the isosceles right triangle, and this length, each length is n minus 2. And then we can extend this to the top of z. So that means g also goes up to n. So this triangular pyramid is the total cases, and then this red triangle will also make this the smaller the triangular pyramid,
어제 막 슈퍼노바에 대한 자세한
and the height of this pyramid is also n minus 2
왜냐면
if the total height is n.
얼음이 녹으면 먹고 싶어.
So that means for the probability, we are dividing n minus 2 cubed by n cubed. And this one should be greater than 1/2. So mm, if we make the cube root to each side,
맞습니다.
something like this, and the cube root of 2, because 1.2 cubed is 1 1.728, and 1.3 cubed is 2 point something. I mean, so the import, so this cube root of 2 is between the 1.2 and 1.3. So let's estimate cube root of 2 is 1.25. 1.25 means uh, the reciprocal is 0.1.25. Yeah, the reciprocal is 0.8. So yep. So the approximation makes n is 10. So if we use 10, and this a cubed over 10 cubed is 512 over 1000. So it's barely greater than the 1 over 2. So 10 is the answer.